personnel or chemistry or whatever it might be?
It's not one or two things. I mean, clearly the quarterback position is huge. How well we're going to play on defense is critical. Can we run the ball? Those type of things. But I think it's going to be something that isn't answered in the first couple of weeks of August. I think it's going to be something that we have to figure out in those first 6 games till we get to that first bye week.
And how much
It's just going to be a journey, and I think that's what's unique about college football.
and how much of a quarterback has to be a leader? And it's hard to be a leader when you haven't been here that long, you haven't established
Right.
relationships. How big a challenge is it going to be for presumably Justin, but I don't know, whoever?
Yeah, no, that is a big challenge. When you don't have the luxury of being here for a long time and creating trust amongst the guys around you, then it is. That's a big challenge, and it's not easy to do in short order.
Ryan, with that new identity in the first 6 weeks, how intricately will J.K. Dobbins be involved with that as you're, the process of learning unfolds?
Yeah, J.K.'s got to run big for us. He's got to play big for us in those first 6 games. The offensive line's got to block, but we talked to J.K. several times about how he's got to turn 3-yard carries into 5-yard carries and 5-yard carries into 6 and 7-yard carries, and then if he does that, the big plays will come. And I think last year when he was kind of going in and out with Mike, I think sometimes maybe he was looking for the home run. I think he'd tell you that. So this year in those first 6 games, he's got to get his pads down. He's got to run. He's got to play veteran for us. He's got to play good. The offensive line's got to do the same thing to take a little pressure off of that position.
Ryan, you're talking about this first 6 games. Tell me if this is totally nuts. You want to win every game to accept the high expectations at Ohio State, right? You never want to shy away from that. Right. But, Urban only lost 9 games to 7 years, which is like crazy. So, how either... yeah, right? Crazy. What's in there? Either in your head, and do you want to verbalize this, maybe to the fan base, that of course we have high expectations, but if we lose a game, it's not the end of the world. And maybe there's not an answer that a coach can give to that.
Well, I think, I know exactly what you're saying. Trust me. I think when you start to think of it that way, you get overwhelmed in a hurry, and you start to focus on things that really don't matter. So, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're playing really, really hard, that we're playing with really good scheme, that we're taking care of the football, playing sound football, playing tough football, and if we do that, everything else will take care of itself. And I think staying focused on what matters right now is critical. But there is going to be adversity along the way. I don't know what it's going to be. When you just think back on the last few years, even at Ohio State, but any program, there's adversity that hits, and there's a journey that starts that you never thought would happen. And there are obstacles, there's challenges, there's things that come in the way. And so building the relationships and building some of the expectations on the front end help you deal with them so that it doesn't just come all caving in. Because I think that is a challenge, is that, the expectations are so high here that if you don't win them all, the minute you lose a game, you can't just come crumbling and fall apart. And to our credit, last year we lost that bad game, but we were able to fight ourselves back out of it. And it was ugly, but we kind of clawed back out of it and had an unbelievable season. And so, to your point, I think it's one of those things you have to think about and have a plan for. You can't just, think, drive with no brakes and think everything's going to go great. The minute something goes bad, you fall apart. You can't do that. Because I'm in this thing for the long haul, and I know our staff is too.
Ryan, how do you view your role with the defense? When we would ask Urban questions about it, well, ask Luke or ask Greg, you seem to be more hands-off with that side of football. Will you be involved in that in some capacity, or what do you want to do with that side?
Yeah, when putting the staff together, I wanted to make sure we had a staff that they could solve the problems themselves. And I know that as an offensive coach, some of the best environments I've been is when I can, as an offensive coordinator, solve the problems on my own. Because I think at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are doing things the way you want to do them. And so between Greg Madison, Larry Johnson, Jeff Hafley, and Al Washington, the guys in that room, Matt Barnes, there's so much experience in that room that I believe in them, that they're going to solve the issues that come up, because there's going to be issues that come up. And, there'll be times where I'll stick my head in there and say, hey, have you looked at this? And, sometimes you can't see the trees in the forest. And, hey, in August camp, hey, we're going to attack you in this formation because you're a little short over here, and that helps. Or, hey, you're giving away the splits because, this linebacker is doing this. Those are the things that help them with. just kind of general ideas as opposed to specifics.
What is your approach to defense? We kind of have an idea what you like offensively. What is your philosophy from a defensive standpoint?
I think it's a combination. Well, first off, you got to stop the run. I mean, we know that. That goes without saying. But to say it's bend but don't break, or to say it's aggressive and challenge every throw, I think it's a combination of two things. Because as an offensive coach, I think about the guys that give us the hardest time, and it's the combination of those two things. If you know it's a bend but don't break, you can check the ball down, you can be smart, you can kind of work your way down the field and play that game. If it's an aggressive defense that's in your face every play, you kind of you put your man beaters together and you kind of roll. The teams that change that up, I think, are the best in terms of defending the pass and then having the ability to blitz when needed. But at the end of the day, you want your defense to not have to think too much, play fast, identify tendencies, identify keys, and play really with a lot of speed.